Hi, I'm SUHAILA binti Muhammad Yusuf. I like this subject because it exposed me to domestic as well as the global economy affecting Malaysia. And we also get to know other countries' economic situation.
Hi, I'm RIZUANLEY bin Samor. I like this course because it exposed me and I learned how to find economic data from any website, like for example from International Monetary Fund, IMF website, and also from local website like Department of Statistics Malaysia.
I am Ping. I like this subject because this subject gives me a deeper understanding of the country economic situation, whether it is before or now. By the way, the teacher is also very intelligent in teaching us.
My name is Nu'man Hadi bin Abdullah with method number A182421. I like this course because of our lecture teach us clearly about the history of economy in Malaysia, and for me it's very useful to economic student like us.
My name is NURUL binti Ismail, and I like this course because it gives me more knowledge about economy in Malaysia, and Dr. always give more information like where to get the right references for any research.
My name is YASMIN IRDINA binti SAIFUL AZMI. I like this subject because it expands my knowledge about economic, and I see things differently than before.
My name is Nur Safa Hidayah binti Ahmad Fandi, and I like this course because this course has taught me that the economy is more than just the numbers like the GDP of a country, but every little thing that happened could affect the economy of a country as well.
Hi, I'm USWATUN. I like this subject because Dr. used various platforms to teach us, such as on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, because the idea of using Microsoft Teams all the time makes us bored. Thank you, Doctor.
I'm FATIN HAFIZAH binti PUASA. I like this course because I can know that the economists provide information and forecasting to inform decisions within companies and government. This knowledge of economics or economic intelligence is based on data and modeling.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I like this subject because of it gives a student an idea to see what employment that really needs in Malaysia economic today.
So how COVID-19 was first detected in Malaysia? So on the 25th of January 2020, the first COVID-19 case was detected and was traced back to 3 Chinese nationals who had close contact with an infected Singaporean. They came to Malaysia on the 24th of January 2020 through Singapore. But on the 4th February 2020, the first Malaysian confirmed case was detected from a 41-year-old man who just returned from Singapore. He developed a fever and a cough, and it was confirmed that he was infected by COVID-19. Next, what were the immediate measures taken by the government? The Ministry of Health, MUQHRI, devised a standard guidelines for COVID-19 management in Malaysia. So, 34 hospitals and screening centers were designated all over Malaysia. There was also an enforcement of health screening at all points of entry in Malaysia to further enhance the detection of fever amongst tourists or locals returning from abroad. A movement control order MCO was implemented on the 18th of March 2020, and it is to enhance the MOH efforts in keeping the virus under control. So MCO related to the restriction of movement of people into or out of an area. So how was the situation at the beginning in Malaysia? Actually, Malaysia was not prepared at all for this to happen, especially with the political crisis that was happening at the time. And most did not think it would easily spread in Malaysia. But positive cases spiked in a week from 99 in 8th of March 2020 to 200. And first 2 deaths was reported in mid-March, and since then Malaysians began to panic.
Number of the spread of COVID-19 across the world. Coronavirus cases latest update on September 28 in the left side box have 223,177,914 cases, 4,770,946 cases of deaths in the world right now. The value is so very large, and we need to be careful with the coronavirus because of it exists and can take human life. I already list top 3 country with the largest cases of coronavirus in their country. First country is USA with 18.84% from total cases. Secondly, India with 14.45%, and lastly, top 3 coronavirus country is Brazil with 9.17% from the total cases. Our country, Malaysia, is in 20th place of top country with the most coronavirus cases. Step taken by country with the highest COVID-19 cases. We start with USA. USA is our top list with highest coronavirus cases with almost 44 million cases right now. The United States has imposed travel ban from across Europe, and the border between Canada and the United States closed on March 18. On March 16, residents were advised to avoid attending any social gathering involving more than 10 people and limit non-essential travel within the state. Secondly is India with 31.6 million cases. A curfew was declared in New Delhi until March 31 to curb the spread of the pandemic. In addition, the police are empowered to punish those who do not comply with this instruction. The border area will also be closed and public transport service will be stopped. The last one in our top 3 list is Brazil, with more than 21 million cases. Employees have been working from home even before the government mandated quarantine measures. The Brazilian government created controversy by not complying with COVID-19 imprisonment. So Brazilian people need to self-quarantine themselves to curb the spread of the pandemic in Brazil. Okay, that's all for our top 3 countries with highest coronavirus cases. Thank you.
Okay, the next one is a First Movement Control Order. So as we all know, PKP or other name First Movement Control Order is one of the government action to prevent this COVID-19. So we can call it lockdown Malaysia. Or dalam bahasa Melayunya, berkurung. So the first PKP yang kita tak boleh lupa ni was done by the government on 18 March 2020. It has 4 phases and the total dates is 18 March 2020 to 3 May 2020. It has 4 phases because Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin extended due to the increases in COVID-19 cases, and it's very worrying if these people go out and continue activities commonly done at the time. So that's why the PKP extended. We know that this PKP is not the last. It is followed by PKPB, PKPP, total lockdown on June 1, 2021, and the last one, the newest one, is the National Recovery Plan, which is implemented on June 15, 2021. Okay, we talk about method. The method used by the government is the same as other country. Namely, prohibited gathering across the country. This include no semayang jemaah di masjid, no wedding feast, and no hanging out at mamak shops, restaurant, like we all always do. So the next one is all school were closed from kindergarten to high school. Not to forget, public and private university are also closed. We are studying online, fully online. And lastly, closure of all government or private premises except those involved in essential service like food supply, pharmacies, banking, electricity, and broadcasting. There was effect of PKP, which is on basic needs, transportation, crime rate, and education. Due to the short time, I will explain about economic and basic needs. In basic needs, when the Prime Minister announced PKP, people start panic buying. And face masks at that time were out of stock, and made the price of face masks go up because the supplies go down. This is why the Prime Minister made an announcement that there is no need to panic because there is enough food and goods for everyone, because they want to relax other people so that the price not goes up high. And the PM also controls the price of these goods so they do not go up too high, because we all need this necessity product to live during PKP. Besides that, in terms of economy, we are known as the largest manufacturer or exporter of rubber cloth at that time. Because of that, the EU began to worry that there will be no production of rubber cloth by Malaysia due to this PKP. Because they need rubber cloth to their health officer, health doctor, and others. So they sent a letter to Malaysia, and Malaysia agreed to maintain a rubber cloth factory to operate at the time, so that the production of rubber cloth will be the same as before the PKP. That's all for me. Okay, next one is standard operating procedure, which is SOP. We always hearing SOP, we must follow SOP, and if we not, we have to pay 1,000 ringgit to the government. So what exactly the meaning of SOP. So SOP is a step-by-step instruction compiled by the government to make sure the community carries out the same and correct action to deal with this COVID-19. So the main purpose is to ensure that the community always take the right action to dealing with the COVID pandemic-19. So the government provide SOP for every activity, such as SOP for business premise, SOP for school, SOP for higher institution, SOP for celebrations, e-hailing, and so on. But the main ones, the main activity, they include in every activity, which is wearing mask, use hand sanitizer, and do social distancing. But the new one is really attract my attention. It was announced that COVID-19 restriction will be eased for those who are fully vaccinated. This is to encouraging the community to get vaccinated as well, benefiting those who follow government directives. So the benefit include you can dine in, you can go to cinema, you can go to night market, you can stay hotel, and the famous one for those who fully vaccinated, allow to travel to Langkawi with the establishment of the Langkawi travel bubble, which is launched on 16th September this year. That's all for me.
Okay, next, impact of COVID-19 on Malaysian economy. First, impact on GDP. In 2020, Bank Negara Malaysia predicts GDP to be at the range of negative 0.2% and 0.5%, following the negative effect of the COVID-19. This is because the value of GDP losses relative to the projected 2020 is estimated to be in the range of 38 billion and 102 billion. Therefore, the industrial output is estimated to decrease between 40% and 70% during the MCO and cause a negative projected growth of negative 8.6% from the manufacturing sector. Okay, next, impact on jobs. The unemployment rate is estimated to be at 4% or 629,000 individuals in 2020, up from 3.3% in 2019. From Malaysian Institute of Economic Research, MIER, also predicted that between 951,000 and 2.4 million jobs would be lost, whereas 647,000 jobs to 1.6 million jobs from unskilled category and 303,000 jobs to 780,000 jobs are from skilled category. For impact on industry, industry has various sectors. So here are some examples. As we know, aerospace contributes to GDP 16 billion, where it is 1.1% of the national GDP of 1.4 trillion. So the effect on aerospace from the financial aspect, potential losses of 1.2 billion to 2.2 billion in revenue, as some companies are forecasted to cease operation, while from the employment aspect, potential job loss between 10% to 20% due to cut off production and less demand in air travelling that affect the industry globally. And last but not least, effect on tourism. Tourism contributes 86 billion to GDP, meaning 6.1% of the national GDP of 1.4 trillion. So the effect on tourism from financial aspect, potential losses of 3.3 billion in revenue by June 2020, and from the employment, potential job losses of up to 10% by June 2020.
There's economic management by the government, Malaysia Fiscal Policy Support Strategy for Economic Recovery and Growth. For the first one, increase in trade activities. It contributes to Malaysian economic recovery. This is evident through the GDP performance for the first quarters of 2021. Then, the implementation of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program, more targeted COVID-19 containment measure budget 2021 measures support the economic growth. For the last one, ensuring the country economic recovery agenda is on track. Fiscal consolidation measures will be implemented in pace in the medium to longer terms when economy is firmly on its recovery. For helping people, Tengku Zafar said the three goals are a continuity of the Prihatin SME Plus Penjana and Kita Prihatin Stimulus Package. The first strategy is to overcome the COVID-19 pandemic and protect public health. In 2021, in addition, 1 billion will be allocated to stem the third wave of COVID-19, so that government provide a one-off payment of 500, which is expected to benefit 100,000 medical staff. Then, to enhance the welfare of vulnerable group, the government will increase the monthly rate of financial assistance. Improving financial assistance, this increase involves an allocate of 2.2 billion, and then elevating the rakyat cost of living. Under the measure, Tengku Zafar announced a series of key initiatives of the people during the crisis. A national development intervention valued at 1.4 billion by Bank Pembangunan Malaysia will be introduced to support the implementation and development of domestic supply chain and increase the production of local products such as medical devices. In addition, a total of 500 million from this scheme will be designed from Bumi Mitra entrepreneurs to increase their involvement in the key sectors. Then the further assistance affected SME, the target assistance and rehabilitation facility worth 2 billion under BNM will be introduced through loans from banking institutions to assist the financial position of SMEs that supply of the government or GLC. Further, to assist the financial position of SME that supply for the government or GLC, the government will introduce the National Supply Chain Finance Platform known as Jana Niaga. The platform will benefit SME with cash flow problem due to the long invoice payment period as well as help them secure loan from financial institutions. I will explain the economic measure taken by government is for managing the national economy and helping the people and business affected by PKP.
Sepanjang tempoh penularan virus COVID-19 yang telah memberi dampak kepada sektor kesihatan dan juga sektor ekonomi negara, kerajaan telah mengumumkan beberapa pakej rancangan ekonomi seperti pakej rancangan ekonomi 2020 yang telah diumumkan pada 27 Februari 2020 dengan peruntukan RM20 bilion. Seterusnya, kerajaan telah mengumumkan pakej rancangan ekonomi prihatin rakyat prihatin pada 27 Mac 2020 dengan peruntukan 230 bilion. Pada 5 April 2020, kerajaan telah mengumumkan pakej rancangan ekonomi prihatin PKS dengan peruntukan RM10 bilion. Seterusnya, Pelan Jana Semula Ekonomi Negara Penjana telah diumumkan pada 5 Jun 2020 dengan peruntukan RM35 bilion. Kerajaan kemudiannya turut mengumumkan kerangka inisiatif tambahan pakej rancangan ekonomi prihatin rakyat Kita Prihatin pada 23 September 2020 dengan peruntukan RM10 bilion. Seterusnya, pada 6 November 2020, kerajaan telah membentangkan belanjawan negara dengan peruntukan RM322.5 bilion. Seterusnya, pakej perlindungan ekonomi dan rakyat Malaysia Permai telah diumumkan oleh kerajaan pada 18 Januari 2021 dengan peruntukan RM16 bilion. Terakhir, kerajaan telah mengumumkan program strategi memperkasa rakyat dan ekonomi Perkasa pada 17 Mac 2021 dengan peruntukan RM20 bilion.
Next, economic aid packages for the affected business and people. So as of July 2021, we have around 8 bantuan, which is the government has allocated 530 billion ringgit Malaysia for this bantuan. First is bantuan prihatin. So bantuan prihatin is for the affected people that comes from the group of M40 and B40, and the category that deserve this prihatin bantuan is married couple, the whole family with the income combination is still in the group of M40 and B40. And also we have bantuan prihatin PKS tambahan, penjana, kita prihatin, permai, pemulih, pemerkasa tambahan, and pemerkasa for the affected people. And for the affected business, the government has allocated bantuan prihatin rakyat for this group, which is they are given 3,000 ringgit on a one-off basis. Next, the government has allocated moratorium for the affected people, which they don't need to pay monthly income for 3 to 6 months, such as loan, car monthly payment, and some. And for the first, the company, it is compulsory for the company to make it 3 months, and then after 3 months, it is depends on the company whether the affected people deserve to extend their moratorium for another 6 months or not. The end of my part. I will pass this presentation to the next presenter. Thank you for listening to my part.
So, this is the type of economic activities adversely affect and reasons. Firstly, the manufacturing sector is affected by the closure of operation. The government measure limit industrial operation and only allow essential service to be operational. Many factories that were ordered closed or not allowed to operate during the Movement Control Order or MCO caused the sector to sustain with loss, thereby contributing to layoff and limited supply of goods in the market. Secondly, the tourism and transport sector affected by cancellation of bookings and movement control contributed to the economic downturn in the service sector. This is because restriction on movement and domestic tourism activities are not allowed to be carried out by the public. This leaves more hotels and those involved in travel companies unable to survive. The tourism sector itself, more than 1,000 workers have been laid off. Meanwhile, the air transport sector was also affected as airlines had to limit overseas segment flight operation. Thirdly, the commodity sector is facing falling prices due to the drop in demand globally, example crude oil, palm oil, and rubber. 4. The business sector and small traders or perusahaan kecil dan sederhana ordered temporary closures and only certain sectors were allowed to operate in stages. During movement control orders, many stores had to contend with limited operating hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., which contributed to the weakness in demand and expenses. For example, the closure of well-known clothing manufacturer as Square Malaysia, which operate in Kelantan and Penang. In this case, it involved the layoff of more than 2,000 employees. Lastly, financial market and currency are facing global uncertainties as well as capital transfer from high-risk market.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I will continue the presentation why technology is really important on pandemic COVID-19. So according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the internet usage for individual and also the household are increasing drastically on 2020 than just before. This is because the internet or the technology can overcome some barriers to meet individuals like a daily routine. So right now, society is improving its ability to communicate using the technology. We can see through we are using our Google Meet, Zoom, and also the MS Teams. Then the two major sectors that are affected with COVID-19 and also using technology fully is first is education. Right now we see how important technology towards the students and also toward the working sector, as their priority to employee is to avoid working in confined and crowded place. Then it's encourage the virus spread. So Malaysia also want to move from pandemic to endemic at the end of October 2021. So this is why society needs to improve their skill of technology and also give the best to get the daily routine or daily work there move smoothly as usual. So thank you.
The national recovery plan should be transparent and realistic. The government should move away from announcing plan and proclaiming action with an overly optimistic bent. Rather, plan the government announcements become a basis for the whole nation to plan, be it businesses to prepare when to resume activities. Secondly, national recovery plan must be drawn out by the best subject matter expert of Malaysia. The impact of COVID-19 is overarching, impacting not just the nation's physical health, but also the economy, social welfare, education, religious practices, and so on. In fact, there are many hardly anything not impacted by COVID-19, but for the purpose of planning, focus on a few key areas would allow for recovery to cascade across other areas. It is in this key area that we need the said experts, ideally those with robust real-world experience. Thirdly, reflect upon the successes and failures of others. We are not alone, and as we now face our own struggles, there are many others we can learn from, just drawing on the experience of New Zealand, Thailand, Korea, Taiwan, and many others. Much can be learned to strengthen the replan.
So how do we think it's gonna be like after the pandemic? We think there will be a huge difference in our habits, especially like no more spontaneous handshakes, and also social distancing will be our new norm. Next, there should be a different approach for jobs and also schools. Like there should be new rules and also policies that will benefit everyone while also maintaining their health. Lastly, travel industry will never be the same anymore, as we will most likely need to be fully vaccinated and also have a vaccine passports to travel. In short, it will become more strict than before.